Hey everybody, this video is going to show you what you can do in the design tab of the Clove website template. So there are three tabs that we're going to go over today. We have the settings tab, the fonts tab, and the background tab. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you the background tab. And this background tab changes the background of this template. So you can first change the colors. Right now it's set to white, and that's the top and the bottom. And what it does is it blends those two colors into each other. So if I were to change this color to green and I click save and I refresh it, it's going to go ahead and blend the green into the white. And I can also change this color as well, and it'll blend it into that. So I could also take a hex code like this from Photoshop and just paste it right in here. So if you have specific colors of any kind that you're pulling from Photoshop, you can just go ahead and paste them and save them. The next thing I want to show you is that you can go ahead and you can add a background to this product. So I'm going to go ahead and add an image and save it. And I saved it so it's going to fill the frame, but you have other options in here where you can tile horizontally, and so on. So if you have little patterns and stuff that you want to play around with, you can. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh, and you're going to see the image fill that background. And that's going to be for all the pages on the site, so I'll refresh this one as well. So if you're going to do a background, you might not want to do an image because it might be too busy to lay all the information on, but it just kind of gives you an idea. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this and save it. And now let's go ahead and go to the settings tab. So let's go over to the settings tab, and this is where you're going to do a lot of your major changes. So you can add your logo here, and all you have to do is click upload new. You're going to want to keep your logo about no more than 200 pixels wide. You have to remember that the wider it is, the less room you have for navigation. So you can keep that about 250 pixels wide. You can link it to whatever page you want it to. A lot of people like to link it to their home page. So you can link to a page you created, and you can select the home page from the list of pages. Or you can actually type in a URL here. You can just type http:// and put the URL for where you want it to link if you wanted it to link externally. And then you can decide if it opens in the same window, which would be an internal link to like the home page, or if it opens in a new window, which would be an external link. Your site minimum is going to be the size that it's reduced to before it has scroll bars. So it's the smallest the site could get, and your site maximum is the largest the site could get, so that it doesn't pixelate. So if you're on a 27-inch monitor and you don't want the site to go larger than the images that you have, so it doesn't upscale them. So now let's start talking about some color stuff. So you have this first item here, which is the body color, and the body color is this. And you're going to see that body color on pages like the info page, where you can see right here. You're going to see it on pages like the splash page. And so what we're going to do is you can again pick a color from the color selector, or you can type in a color here, and it'll go ahead and change that body color. You have the body corner radius. So if I were to turn this up and I were to change this body color and click save, I'm going to refresh this, and you're going to see that we'll now have a little bit of a corner on there, and this will be a different color. So I can change that color. I can change the drop shadow. So the body drop shadow here, if I wanted to change it to like a blue, I could do that. I can change the opacity, so I can make it a little bit darker, and I can change the width, so I can make it a lot larger, and I can go ahead and click save. And then when I refresh it, you're going to see that we changed how that displays as a shadow. So it's kind of like got that blue highlight. The image matte color you're going to see on pages like the info page. So when you are, if you turn on letterboxing so that all your images fit into your areas, you can go ahead and set this background color to be the same color as this is of the body color, which is what most people do. But I'm going to go ahead and just change it real quick to something that's very noticeable, and I'm going to click save. And then when I refresh this, you're going to notice that the color behind that image is actually going to be that purple that we picked. So if there were an image that were to have to fit in here and it wasn't cropped to the right size and it would letterbox, you would actually see a little bit of that color. So a lot of people change it to the color of the body so that it matches. These are all your aspect ratio areas. So when we talk about that in another video, but you can come back here and change your aspect ratios. We have our album set right now to 16 by 9, so our images are 1600 by 900, but we cover that in other documentation and other videos. So if you want to play around with the aspect ratio, you would do that here. The thumbnail size is going to be on our album pages. So the albums have thumbnails, and you can change the size of these right here. The social bar is this item down here. It holds all your social networking stuff, and you can change the height of it, you can change the color, and you can change the opacity. And you can do that with those 3 items. So that's the basics on what you could do. So we just covered backgrounds, colors, and so on. So we're going to move on to the Fonts tab. Now the Fonts tab, what you're going to be looking at is the first item is embed font glyphs. If you have characters in your language that are going to be non-English and they're going to need the font glyphs, you know who you are, you can go ahead and turn that on here. And in this template we have a series of fonts that you can choose from. So you just use this drop down and it'll change the fonts. The splash page text color, let's go ahead and just start changing up some colors here. So I'm going to start picking green and save it and refresh. So we're looking at the splash page text color. And that's going to be this item right here. So it's going to be this link. We have the text size, so you can change the size of that. We have the navigation color, so let's go ahead and go into the site. And it's going to be this navigation color right here. And you're going to notice that we have the sizes, and then we have the highlight color. So when I roll over it, you can see that it gets darker. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this for you right here to like a reddish color and refresh this. And you'll see that when I roll over it, it changes to that color. And then we also have the navigation text selected. So whatever page we're on, like this album right here, is that dark color that you see right here. And then you have the title text color. So let's go to our info, one of our info pages. And you'll see that this is the color of that title. And then you have the title text size, so you can change the size. Let's scroll down some more, and now we get into the description, which is all of this. So you can pick from serif or sans serif, and we have web-safe fonts in there, so you can change that. You can add the text color for that description. You can change the size. That's all this information as well. And then you have the ability to play around with the spacing between the text lines, so you can make them the spacing between the top and the bottom of these. So you can play around with that a little bit. And then you have the footer text color and footer text size, which is going to be like this information here when you write copyright, the year, and your studio name. You can play around with those colors as well. And then you have the social bar foreground color, which is going to be this top color here, so the color of that bird and the color of the text, so that it lays on top of the background. And then the social button highlight color as well, so you can play around with that. So those are all the font options. So you'll have your settings, which are going to be primarily sizes and colors and stuff. You have your background, which allows you to change the backgrounds of the colors and add the big image back there. And then you also have your font. So that covers all the items that you can change up in your Clove template. And I hope that was informative, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.